Hey folks, welcome back to Carl's Off the Grid. This week I've been thinking a lot about different things I'm grateful in my life about, and I thought of a bunch of old and new things that I'm grateful for. First of all, I just want to let you know what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be joined with my buddy Rob here today, and he's going to be helping me out with making a mantle for the fireplace. Some of the older things that I'm grateful for: my old friend Bob Haft, who has been a mentor in my life for a long time, has given me some old maple. This is old growth maple that we're going to be using to make the mantle. Bob is a real interesting character. I've known Bob since I was just knee level high, and he's been a great inspiration in my life. He's helped me all the way through when I was a little rugrat in Boy Scouts. And I remember he made a pretty big impact. One day we were sitting around the picnic table, and he said, "Hey, little Carl, you know, these skunks are coming in at nighttime here in the campground. You want to catch one?" And of course I was intrigued by it, and I thought, yeah, I want to. And he says, "Here's what you do. Go up to them or lay on top of the picnic table. When they come to clean up our scraps, their tail's going to go up, and they're going to be looking around for stuff to eat. You take this salt shaker, shake a little bit of salt on their tail, and they can't spray at you. Their spraying glands perk up. You can go grab them, and then you can pet them like a cat or whatever." So, Bob, I don't know if that's true or not, but if any of you subscribers want to try it and comment in the comment section, you're more than happy to, but I never would. So anyways, some of the new things that I'm grateful for is my new friend Rob. I met Rob through my wife. He teaches at the same school district that she teaches at, and he is generous enough to invite us over to his home. He's got a wood planer. He's going to go ahead and plane down some of these boards for me and make these old maples look nice. And I wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to Rob too. He's into YouTube as well. Rob, what do you want to tell us about your channel? Maybe tell us how long you've been YouTubing and maybe what your channel's about.
Well, I've been woodworking for about 3 years now, so I'm still pretty fresh into it. After talking to you and everything, I'm like, I might as well start taking videos. I've kind of always liked doing it, but now I'm trying to make them a little bit better, and it's still a work in progress, but we will link a post to my channel in your video here.
Yep.
But it's pretty much like my day-to-day projects. Like currently I'm doing a farmhouse style benches and table for my kitchen. I have a big epoxy table that I currently posted a bunch of videos for, and that turned out pretty cool. So, but yeah, other than that, it's just whatever I'm doing for the day, I'm going to start trying to take a lot of videos for it. So
excellent. Our goal is, as a community, we want to help each other out on this channel. Check out the link that I'm going to leave down below above the comment section and look at some of his videos that he posts. And, you know, it'd be great. Give him a subscribe right away. Check out his videos. That's what this community is about. We can all help each other learn and grow from each other's videos. I'd highly encourage you to do it for him. He's a great guy and generous enough to invite me into his home and everything. I can attest you will not be disappointed when you check out his channel. So we're going to quit talking right here, and we're going to get to work. We're going to show you how his planer works. He believes in having good quality tools. So if you notice, he has a DeWalt planer, and DeWalt has always put out good products. For me, all that I ever use is DeWalt or Milwaukee tools. So we're going to quit talking here, and we'll show you how Rob's planer works.
alrighty.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go. Drop that
All right, if you guys notice, check out the characteristics of this board. Rob was telling me about this 3D effect, which looks really, really cool. What do you call that again, Rob?
Curly. That's curly. So curly maple since it's maple.
All right. Excellent. I can't wait until we get a finish on this board. This thing is rock hard.
Oh yeah.
When Bob told us it was old growth maple, we can attest to he wasn't kidding. This is unreal.
It's beautiful wood. It really is. I can't wait for the oil. It's gonna pop.
It will.
Be so shiny.
In the character that it has, we kept I was gonna fill this up, and Rob kind of counseled me. He says, "No, don't do it. You'll take away from the beauty of the wood." So I think I'm gonna heed to his counsel, and I'm gonna leave it alone, and we'll go ahead. We'll oil this and see how it turns out. I'm so excited for this mantle. This is far better than what I ever expected. And Rob, thank you for your help.
Yeah, of course.
Because
of course,
this Rob's hard work is what really made this thing come to pass. So I'll take this home now. We'll go ahead and we'll finish this wood, and then wait until you see the surprise that we have. Last week I promised you that we'll incorporate antlers into this project. As you know, the cabin is all about living out in the wilderness, and over the years I've collected a lot of different deer antlers, and I always wondered, well, what am I going to do with these things? They just kind of stockpiled in my basement. But this will be a project where we can utilize some of those antlers. And for those of you who have a lot of antlers at your home, this is shed hunting time of year. We'll give you some ideas of what you can do with those antlers. All right. What'd you think of our buddy Rob? That guy's freaking awesome. So he gave me a little bit of a tip, and after I was talking with him about this tip, excuse the bright lights and the poor lighting on the camera. I'll try to get that under control, but right now I have these lights on as bright as they can go because I want to see what's going on with the finish on this wood. But Rob reminded me of a tip on how to finish this wood, and believe it or not, I actually used the tip that he told me about 25 years ago when I was refinishing a gun. And here's what the tip is to get a real glassy look on your wood, to give it that wet appearance. He says, you ever hear of truoil? Now, those of you that are into gunsmithing right away, you know where I'm going with this. But truoil is a great way to treat your wood, and it makes the wood come out looking like glass. And so I know this is a small container. I've got a few more hanging up on the wall here in the shop. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to treat this wood with truoil. Now, what you're going to want to do is, this stuff is really, really finicky when it comes to applying it. You can't use like paper towel or anything like that. You should use a rag or a soft cloth. And what I'm going to be doing for our solution here today is I'm going to be putting in 50% truoil, and then the other 50%, I'm just doing a dab of mineral spirits. And we're going to mix these things up, and then we are going to go ahead and apply it to this wood. And I think I need a little bit more truoil. I want a little nuts with that thinner. So we'll get a little bit more truoil in here. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to apply this onto the wood a few times. And we're going to start out with 3 coats. And at the end of 3 coats, we're going to take quadruple, or yeah, I think it's called quadruple odd, steel wool, and we're going to go ahead and sand this down and get a smooth finish to it. So I've got all the truoil ready. I'm going to go ahead and get a rag, and let's start applying this stuff. All right, off camera, I put on my handy dandy latex gloves. And a little trick that I do to try to keep any of the impurities that might have been in the can or inside this mixing container that I'm using, in order to keep them out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet one side of the rag and I'm going to flip it inside out and I'll apply with the other side of the rag. So here we go. All right, I got this side is all wet. We'll fold this inside out in case if I picked up any impurities. And let's go ahead and we'll start applying it to this wood. I can tell already I'm going to have to switch that camera angle around. We're in kind of a combined space here because we are in the bunker tonight. So we're going to just go ahead and apply this quite liberally. We'll flip that rag inside out again. And you can already tell it's going from kind of a plain piece of wood to already with one coat it's darkening up, and I can start to see the characteristics of the wood starting to come out. These ripples down here, later on I'm going to do a close-up with that with the camera. They are absolutely amazing. They look like it's a 3D wave coming out of the wood. It's just nuts. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start applying this to the rest of this board. We're going to hit the edges and everything right away. This is going to be the edge that everybody's going to see. So we're going to want to make sure that we get that. And boy, this wood is just as smooth as could be. And boy, it's coming out beautiful. After we give this one generous coat of this stuff, of this truoil, I think I'm going to give it at least 4 hours to dry. You can come down here and feel it. If the wood is tacky, give it a little bit more time. Don't be in a rush. And if the wood feels dry, you're good to go. So, all right, this is going to be coat number one. You can already see the difference in between the two pieces of wood, how it's starting to bring the color out. When you mix it with that the mineral spirits, that's the thing that's going to give it the real wet, glossy appearance. And I can hardly wait to see what the finished product looks like. I know I've been keeping you guys in suspense, and I told you that this is going to be a cool project, and I got a surprise for you. Here's what I'm thinking of doing, and I guess we're far enough into the video I can kind of share this with you. So this is going to be the actual mantle where the where everything, family pictures and whatnot, are going to sit. And right now we're looking at this kind of upside down. On the bottom side, I've got all these little antlers from when I was meat hunting, years ago. And what I'm going to do is we're going to mount these antlers against the bottom board, and then have the tines coming up against the mantle to give it the illusion that these antlers are holding up the mantle. And so whether you have little sheds or whether they're bucks that you harvested, don't ever get rid of these little antlers. It's kind of a neat, woodsy, artsy-fartsy way to bring the outdoors into the cabin. So I haven't decided if I'm just going to put one matched rack, one antler on each side, or if I'm going to put antlers all the way across, holding up the mantle. I think either way it looked kind of cool. So when you go shed hunting, for those of you that have been following me for a long time, last year I went shed hunting and I picked up a couple smaller sheds. All these little sheds. How cool is that going to look with these antlers coming through the baseboard? holding up this mantle. Right now I know you really can't get a good look at it and I'm cramped on space, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish applying the truoil to this wood, and then once we get it all done, we'll screw the mantle together, and I'll give you a better view of it. We'll figure out where the holes have to be to mount the antlers to the bottom of the mantle, and then we'll show you what it looks like once it's holding it up. So stay tuned. I've watched one other guy do this in my life, only he did it for smaller bookshelves, and I thought, oh, that would look great if it was done on a little bit larger scale. And I was thinking specifically about the fireplace mantle. And so that's what we're going to go ahead and we're going to make today. This is my second day into the project. So I'm going to quit talking, and I'm probably not going to make a lot of video of me rubbing this stuff into the wood, because I want to keep this video down to, if I can, like a half an hour or so or less. And I'm going to go ahead and start applying right now. Like I said, after the third coat, we're going to steel wool this with, I don't know what they call it. I also want to say triple odd, but it's not triple odd. And now that I almost killed myself, it's this stuff. That's probably a little bit easier. Pick that up. You can get it at any hardware store. I try not to shop the big box stores all the time. This, I went to the local Ace and picked it up, and I think that if we can support our communities a little bit better, that this economy would go much nicer. So that's the first coat on this. You can already see the difference that's coming through in it in comparison to the color of the original wood. I'm going to cut you off here, and I'm going to apply this, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how we sand it down. Okay, folks, so I learned a valuable lesson when I put the oil on the first time, and that is I used a regular towel, and the fibers from the towel got stuck on the finish of the wood. When I looked real closely, I could see the fibers, and so I did a little bit more research, and I found out that if you use Under Armour material, that it will spread the oil evenly and it won't leave those fibers behind. Now, I need your input. I'm going to do this in a two-part series video. This video is starting to get a little bit long, so I'm going to end it here and we'll continue next week. What I need to know from you is in the comments section, if you could let me know what you think about these antlers. If I should do multiple sets of antlers underneath here, or just stay with two antlers underneath here to hold up the mantle. I would greatly appreciate your input. So if you could leave a comment in the comments section, let me know what you think, and we're going to run with that. So I appreciate you tuning in, and we'll catch you next week when we finish up the mantle on Carl's Off the Grid.